Welcome back to Kovac Enterprises. This is going to be part number 2 on the Cessna 172 that I've been working on. As you can see, we have made some progress from the last video. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, we went ahead, and I'll kind of turn this around. Let me just lay there. Okay, so you can see we've actually installed the interior assembly / cockpit into the two halves of the fuselage. So there you go. Kind of give you an upward look like that, so as well. All right, and then as well as the motor itself, the engine of the Cessna 172 has now been glued in and installed up against the firewall. So there's that. And then of course again we went ahead and installed the nose wheel gear fairing and the wheel to the front of the plane itself. And so that is where we're at right now. I let all this stuff set overnight to give it a good cure and glued in place. So with that being said, we'll be right back, and we will be adding a few more additions to the model itself. So stand by, we'll be right back. Alrighty, and we're back, and we've of course added a few more additions to the Cessna 172. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a closer look. As you can see in front of you, we do have the decals started on the fuselage, as well as the front nose fairing. So let's go ahead and pick this thing up and give her a look. So basically we went ahead and glued on the lower cowling for the engine on the fuselage, which was a good fit there on this particular Cessna itself. As you call the Cessna 150 I did before, we had to use a rubber band and everything, but this actually had a little groove that we could use to actually glue this to, so we didn't have to go through that process again. Of course, another part of the assembly was the front end where the propeller goes, so we attached that to the lower cowling as well. And then if you can see here, in addition to the 172 is actually a headlight, for lack of a better term, part of a clear part that goes right here. And then I went ahead and I put on the top cowling for the top of the engine there, just so that we can get the decal part on. I haven't decided whether or not I want to cut along the perforation here so that we can remove the upper cowling. I'll think about that later on, but it is not glued in, so it can be removed. It's just a matter of being real careful with the X-Acto blade and actually cutting along the upper cowling along the decal, so we can pop the hood off so you can actually see the engine, if that's what I want to do for later on. I went back and as you can see there, I kind of messed up a little bit here because I forgot that the instructions for the nose fairing calls for the upper decal to be installed first before you attach it to the nose strut on there. So I did the best I could by cutting it in half and then kind of putting each half on either side of the nose assembly there. I might come back with a little paint and try to match up the color so that it's not so noticeable on that one there. We also of course did the two side pieces on either side of the nose fairing. I did use some micro saw to help settle it down a little bit when I did put it on, as well as the decals for the fuselage itself. If you recall, with the Cessna 150, it was one solid decal from the nose to the tail. On this particular model, there's actually two separate decals for either side of the fuselage. So this goes from the actual front of the nose part of the plane to the midsection here, as you can see here, and then the second decal goes from the tail to this part right here, and of course the same is on the other side as well. So that's basically where we're at right now. I did install the exhaust here underneath the fuselage itself, so that's taken care of as well. And we'll go ahead and set that down. Next up, we went ahead and assembled the lower wings on either side of the port starboard. So that's glued in place, and once that was done, we actually put on the wingtips decals on the bottom for this side as well as this side, and of course then we flipped it around and took care of the decals on the wingtips on the upper wings themselves. So there's one here and one over here. So basically that is where we are right now at this point of the build. So with that being said, stay tuned. We will get ready for part 3 on this series, and I hope everybody has a good day and a good week, and we will catch you on the next video. So until then, so long, everybody have a good day, and we'll catch you later. Bye.